of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Monday. It is the second day of December, the year 2024. In the Western calendar, this corresponds to the year 6265. In the Kemetic calendar, to which we have realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LAB Radio, LAB TV, LivingInBlack.com. Today, I hope you find this to be a compelling broadcast for today. I think it's going to be a good one. And let me bring you along with me. Today on LAB Radio, I share insights of why I committed to the vegetarian/vegan lifestyle nearly 40 years ago. When considering the biology, ethics, concern for sustainable environment, and the immense health and longevity boost of this nutritional lifestyle, I get excited at the possibilities ahead. Let's take a look at about some 30 powerful motivations for my experience as a long-time vegan advocate. And among the many things is, of course, the direct health benefits, he says as he steps off camera for just a moment. Today is the second day of the second time I have, and this time I've convinced a group of you to join me in this, made a 56-day journey with a strategic plan for boosting stem cell production and growth. One of the things that members of our group are doing is keeping a food journal or a lifestyle journal. So what I do is I report on, such as my daily morning exercise routine. This morning my reps were 150, plus I added a new exercise to my daily routine. I had been doing 9 different ones. I added a 10th one this time, deep knee bends. So I didn't do 150 of those, not on the first day of starting that. I just did 25, and then we'll build up to the regular. I weigh myself every morning at the same time under the same conditions, and bear with me as I get a ink pen that actually is writing. So yesterday, for my morning protocol, I weighed in on the first day of this strategic plan. Yesterday, I weighed in at 153.3 pounds, and that put me at a body mass index of 23. Today, I weighed in at 150.8 pounds. So that was I took off 2.5 pounds on the first day, on the first day of this 56 day protocol. So I didn't do my BMI calculation. Let me do that real quick, so I'll show you everybody what this routine is all about. So let me go to my desktop BMI calculator. Again, yesterday was 153.8. My morning weigh-in, I weighed in at the same time, same conditions. And this morning, I weighed in at 150.8. 150.8. And bear with me, for some odd reason, this morning, everything I'm doing is slow. I think it might be a little bit cold. And so my BMI goes from 23, which is 2 points away from the upper limit of the normal range, went to 22.6. BMI 22.6. That's very, very good to take off 2.5 pounds without dieting. All I did was 2 main things. One, I ate, well, I'm still eating like what was left over. So I did eat quite a bit of raw vegan food. I did have some beans, which will sustain weight. dense protein. We love our beans and lentils. But the one thing I did that was distinctly different was two things, I should say. One, I clarified my no eating period. That's called intermittent fasting. And two, I stopped eating at 6 p.m. So yesterday, my first meal of the day was about, first meal was about 1 p.m. Noon, actually, my first meal of the day. And my last meal of the day was 6 p.m. So I confined all of my eating for the entire day yesterday into a 6-hour window. That gave me several advantages. Intermittent fasting, caloric restriction, and also the redirection, non-redirection, I should say, of my somatic energy, my rest time, sleep time correction, healing of my body. I didn't have to spend so much of that energy on digesting food that was still in the intestinal tract, which happens when you eat at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, midnight. Your body's going to be working to get rid of that food. So 2.5 pounds, that's not bad. My ultimate target is 145 pounds. So I still have probably by next week or this weekend. Actually, this weekend I will reach that, as our group is going to take a 3-day water fast beginning on Friday. It's still not too late. If you want to join our 56-day stem cell rejuvenation program, this is the fountain of youth. I assure you that. If I can get all of those results in just one day, I can assure you after 56 days, it's going to be pretty amazing. So you can always text me, email you. You know how to contact me by now, as long as you and I have been together. Let's go forward. Let's continue on this program here for today. Again, let me just clarify for today's program, and bear with me. I've got several things open simultaneously, but we're going to be all right here. For today's program, I share insights of why I committed to the vegetarian vegan lifestyle nearly 40 years ago. When considering the biology, the ethics, concern for sustainable environment, and the immense health and longevity boosts of this lifestyle, I get excited. Let's take a look. Now, here's what I've been putting together this morning. There are 4 more things to add to this list, but I didn't do too bad, as I was pushing 5 different things to do this morning at the same time, including making my morning tea. Now, for those of you who are part of our stem cell group, this is the tea that I was talking about. It's green tea with the 4 magic daily ingredients. Plus, I added coconut, and I sweetened it with turbinado, evaporated cane. So not only is it wonderfully delicious, it's rejuvenating and it's hydrating. And anti-inflammatory. It's got cayenne pepper in it too. Number 1 on this list is the biological science of nutrition, as it efficiently creates energy without toxic side effects. Many people really don't consider, why do we eat? Why do we take in nutrition? The reason we eat, the reason we take in nutrition is primarily to create energy to drive our biological life, this bioenergetic system. Nutrition is critically important for that. You don't believe me? Stop eating and watch how soon you die. There's more to why we eat. The brain is wired to want us to eat, and the brain is also wired, the biology is wired from the cellular level up to want us to eat the right foods, to get those 8 key critical nutrients in every day that we need to survive. 8 of them. 3 plus 5 is 8. 5 plus 3 equals 8. Point number 2, now these are in alphabetical order. Point number 2, constipation is one of the hallmarks and outcomes of a diet high in meat, cheese, dairy, and many processed foods. So why I went vegan? Well, I don't have to be consuming those things anymore. And I don't like constipation. I don't know of anybody who does like constipation. Number 3, economic factors. In general, plant-based foods can be more affordable than animal products. leading people to choose vegan options for budgetary reasons. And I tell you, as part of this lifestyle, because I detox on a regular basis, now I'm going to be starting on Friday, I'm going to be going 3 days without having to eat anything, nothing but water. And so I save a lot of money. If food is costing people an average of anywhere from $10 to $30 per day, then 3 days of not eating, I might be potentially saving myself $90. So that's a good thing. We encourage such activity. Number 4, environmental beliefs and the environmental benefits of reducing one's environmental footprint, as animal agriculture is a significant contributor to deforestation, water pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, habitat destruction, and resulting injury to nature. And this lifestyle lowers the resulting injury to nature compared to meat-based diets. And that's very, very important. I am essentially an environmentalist, and I have no apologies, make no apologies for that stance at all. And I bet I'm not the only one in this listening audience who's proud to claim a commitment to Mother Nature. Number 5 on this list of why. Number 5, food choices and preferences. Some individuals simply prefer the taste, variety, and nutritional benefits of plant-based foods and choose to adopt a vegan lifestyle. And yeah, the idea of eating meat after 40 years of not, and knowing what I know about what is in the meat, as well as smelling meat. When I walk into a grocery store, I can tell the level of hygiene in that grocery store by the smell of dead flesh. So I walk in the front door, I can smell the carcasses. And I will, from time to time, walk through the meat section of a grocery store just to watch what everybody is putting into their body. And the more I observe this, the more it kind of grosses me out. I don't want to condemn anybody else for what you do. I just want to encourage mindfulness of what you do and its critical necessity. We're up to number 6, fruitarian. The fact of the matter is, and this is human physiology, biology, the human physiology is primarily designed for fruit consumption. The bright colors of the fruits are very attractive to our brains. The shape of our hands, the shape of our teeth, our strength. We don't have the speed to capture animals to eat. A human being can't capture a rabbit. That's why they have to use mechanical means for doing so. We can't chase down a deer or an antelope, throw it to the ground, bite its neck, choke it out, and then start to eat it right there, raw, on the spot. That could very well likely kill us because of the pathogens encountered in that. But meat-eating animals, this is how they live. So point number 7, the health benefits. These are, again, in alphabetical order. A well-planned, and I emphasize well-planned, vegan diet has been linked to a reduced risk of chronic diseases such as cardiovascular disease, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and many types of cancer, metabolic syndrome diseases, which include hypertension, imbalanced cholesterol ratios, high triglycerides, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I mentioned cancers or a metabolic syndrome disease. Metabolism, that's about the processing of nutrients and creating bioenergetic systems and functional organs out of that. That's what metabolism is about. And quite simply, human metabolism is not that of meat-eating animals. It's just not. We'll go through more of those. Number 8, humans have no compelling nutritional need to consume animal products. Cows, goats, and camels do not produce milk that is superior to human milk. I'll repeat, cows, goats, and camels, all of whom are ruminant animals, do not produce milk that is superior to human milk for the development of our offspring. And I would say this much further. Name one human that would feed their baby any milk from a carnivore. You're not going to feed your baby dog milk, cat milk. You're not going to feed your baby, certainly not feed them wolf milk, polar bear milk, lion milk, hyena milk for a human baby. Psh, no, it ain't happening. The only ones who consumed milk from humans were Romulus and Remus, the mythical founders of Rome, who suckled from the breasts of the she-wolf. That's a whole nother story. No, 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 no. Even the ruminants, the cows, the goats, and the camels, their milk is incompatible with the development of our brain, especially regarding the long development of the human brain as well. Breast milk is the best source of our baby's distinct immune system needs. That's right. Number 9, why I committed to the vegetarian lifestyle: hygiene. Quite simply, confined animal feedlot operations, CAFOs, are filthy. They're disease-ridden facilities, and they are at the end stage of fattening up animals for the slaughter. So the last thing that these animals go through, especially cattle, before being slaughtered and butchered and put into supermarkets where they're dyed to keep the meat from turning gray, which is what meat naturally does. After the animal dies, the meat turns gray. So in general, the meat is dyed when you see it on the grocery store shelves. Bright red meat. It looks tempting to a carnivore. But if you saw it in its natural state, it would be gray. And that's not so palatable. So hygiene. These places are filthy. And we're going to talk about what that filth is. In fact, I have my book over here on this shelf. Let me grab this book and introduce it into the conversation as well. Do I have it? Do I see it? It's called, and it's not on the shelf right now, but I know the book well enough, and I can always pull it up on my desktop. It's called Transforming Soul Food for the Body, Mind, and Spirit. And I know I do have it over on this side. So I'm going to grab that book and talk to you a little bit later about the bacteria, the Campylobacteria, the E. coli, I almost said syphilis. No, not syphilis, but they're the Staphylococcus and these other bacteria that are in the meat. Oh, I actually have that on this list too. We have to number 9, number 10, improved mental health. Some studies suggest that a vegan diet may have a positive impact on mental health, reducing symptoms of depression and anxiety. And yes, that is true. In fact, one of my former roommates, he was actually staying in the house that I had at the time. He had been suffering for some years with a diagnosis, a chemical brain disorder. And the time when he stayed with me, I was surprised. I didn't know that this thing was happening to him until I started observing the behaviors. And the behaviors were a little bit disturbing. But by the time he lived with me and ate what I prepared, he got better and he got better and he got better. He did have a relapse every now and then. He was kind of sensitive, but it was not the chronic disturbance that it had been. And the last time I talked, he now had become a vegan chef. And I'm really, really proud. Really proud of you, Brother Trey. Really am. Congratulations on all of the lessons that you took to heart and learned and were able to then control to the greatest extent your health using food as nature's most perfect medicine. And I would say further, for anyone interested in it, if you want to know more about functional medicine, orthomolecular medicine, study the research of Dr. Linus A. Pauling, the Pauling Institute. His research goes deep into the idea of connecting nutrition with mental health. Very good research for which he won a Nobel Prize, Dr. Linus Pauling. We're talking about all the reasons why I committed to the vegan lifestyle. Vegetarian, it was an ascendance. I first went vegetarian. Then I started eliminating all these processed foods, the fake meats and soy-based products and stuff. And at that particular point, I crossed over into vegan, which is avoidance not only of all animal products, including eggs and milk and fish and scrimps and all that other stuff, but also eliminating processed foods to the very best of my abilities. So, number 11, increased energy and vitality. Some studies suggest that a vegan diet may have a positive impact on I'm sorry, I was reading the previous one. I read it once before on mental health. Increased energy and vitality. Many vegans report feeling more energetic and vital after adopting a plant-based food. I will go further to say not only energetic and vital, but stronger, significantly stronger. Hey, listen, I don't know, and I talked about on our 56-day stem cell protocol, make detailed notes, keep a journal. Well, I'm doing my push-ups, and during the 56-day protocol, my push-ups are back up to 500 a day. Starting yesterday on the very first day, my first set of push-ups, single set, no pause, 250. My second set was 200, and that, of course, comes to 450. So I did another set, 5 minutes or so after doing the 200, of 50 more. And that's pretty amazing, especially seeing that quite often people my age, men my age, can't even do 25 push-ups. I've heard so many brothers say, man, I appreciate that. I can't even do 25. I say, yes, you can. You can do 25. I promise you, you can. Now, there are some people out here who cannot, and I will tell them, yeah, in your present state, you can't do push-ups. But change your state, change your status, and start to do this, and you will impress yourself. The first time I ever reached 100 push-ups, I was so impressed. I have been talking to Baba, Les Brown, and you all know Les Brown. We highly respect the man for all of his lifetime accomplishments. But I've been talking to Baba, Les Brown, bragging about my 70 push-ups, and he said, very good, young man, in that beautiful voice, you know, that Les Brown voice. Very good, young man. He says, I can recall I used to do 100 push-ups, and he would do them in front of a crowd. And I said, wow, that's impressive. So I remember the first time I ever did 100 push-ups in front of a crowd. I was speaking in London at a Black personal care and hair care festival. My brother Harold was hosting me there over in the UK. And Brother Harold, if you're listening today, you know I got nothing but mad love for you, brother. You also made this commitment, and look at you. He's just turned into a dynamic. But I had a workshop there, and I said to the people, yeah, I'm doing 100 push-ups, and somebody in the audience made a noise, and I said, oh, you want to see me do it, don't you? So I did it. I did 100 push-ups right there. Now, if someone provokes me, last time someone provoked me, my daughter was here with one of her dear friends from long life friends for life, and they provoked me, or I helped them provoke me, and I did 240 push-ups right there on the spot for them. Bless those of you who challenge us to be men and women of our word. That's a beautiful thing. So we are talking about the many reasons of going vegetarian. That last one was number 11, increase energy and vitality. And I'm going to add to that energy, strength, high performance, and vitality. That is a benefit. Many vegans report feeling more energetic, strong, high performance, and vital after adopting a plant-based diet. And that's true. We're up to number 12. This is a serious one. Please pay attention. Number 12, methionine. Homocysteine is a common amino acid in your blood, obtained mostly from eating meat. High levels of methionine intake, over 5 times normal intake, can result in elevated homocysteine levels, a risk factor for heart disease. A single large, quote, loading dose, unquote, of methionine, which is 10-fold larger than normal, has been associated with sudden death. That's true. Yeah, that's true. So for some of these bodybuilders out here who just gorge on meat, they're getting way more methionine than their body requires. Methionine is part of our amino acids. So we have to understand that keeping the amino acids in balance, homocysteine is a common amino acid. Amino acids are necessary for cell construction, for molecular construction out of proteins. That's where we get the amino acids, from proteins. So now we put them into context so that it doesn't kill us. Let me see if I got anybody checking in on me today. Do I have an audience today on clarity on the question of why I went vegan? No, not much of an audience there on Rumble. Let's see. We have our You Now family in the house. Little Joe Said So is in the house. Great to have you with us. Alter Ego checking in. Elisa checking in. Love to all of you. Great to have you. Great to have you in the house today. Enough respect to you all. We continue. We're talking about clarity on why I went vegan. We got a lot more of these points here on the table to share. These are in alphabetical order. Number 12 is methionine. Number 13, NEU 5GC. NEU 5GC is a non-human sialic acid. What does sialic acid means? A class of alpha keto acid sugars. So that way, when you go to the research on NEU 5GC, which I first discovered from the University of San Diego in December 2014, when you go to the research, you're going to see they describe it as a, quote, sugar-like molecule. It's got the carbon structure of sugar. So it is a non-human sialic acid. It is present in red meat and other animal products. Humans lack the enzyme to produce it, but can metabolically incorporate it from diet, triggering an inflammatory immune response said to increase inflammation in the body by 500%, five-fold increase in inflammation and corresponding risk of developing cancer from NEU 5GC. Again, humans can metabolically incorporate it from diet, triggering an inflammatory response, immune response, and potentially contributing to chronic inflammation and diseases such as digestive leukocytosis, atherosclerosis, and cancer. Look it up. NEU 5GC. Going forward, reasons, and that was number 13. Next, number 14, why I went vegan: pathogens commonly found in meat products that require cooking to kill these pathogens. You know what they say: don't eat the raw meat. If you cutting up chicken on a cutting board, they say wash your hands, wash the knife, wash the cutting board before touching anything else that's not going to be cooked to 160 degrees. So here are the temperatures that you are required to cook the meat to kill off the pathogens. Beef, steak, chops, roast to a core temperature minimum of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, 63 degrees Celsius. Ground beef, which is supposed to be beef, but it's not. Ground beef is nastier than beef. Why you have to cook it 15 degrees higher to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 71 degrees Celsius. Poultry, chicken, and turkey, cook it to 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. And seafood needs to be cooked to 145 degrees Fahrenheit, 63 degrees Celsius. So that's part of the reason I don't eat meat. Because, hey, listen, think about the logic here. You cook the meat to kill the bacteria that create the toxins that can kill you. So therefore, the meat is cooked and the bacteria that produce the toxins die and no longer produce toxins. But where did the toxins go that the bacteria, while they were living in the meat, where did those toxins go? You don't cook them off. They get absorbed into the blood and the cellular structure of the animal in which those bacteria were growing. So yes, you kill off the bacteria if you cook it to that core temperature. I'm going to take their word on that. But the toxins that these bacteria were already creating as waste products of living in that meat, the toxins are still present. The toxins are still present. And you don't cook off antibiotics in that meat. You don't cook off arsenic found in that poultry. You don't cook off agricultural chemicals, pesticides, and things that were in the grains that were fed to that animal. So people, think this through to the best of your abilities. Anybody want to talk to me? Anybody else out there in the house thought about or experienced the vegan lifestyle? Some people have. I've heard no small number of people tell me, as I do consultation with them, I say, are you a vegetarian or a vegan? And they'll say no, but I was at one point. I always ask the same question when I hear that. I say, how did you feel when you were a vegetarian or vegan? Most people say, I felt pretty good. Did you feel energetic? Yes. Was your weight in better control? Yes. Did you feel like your immune system was stronger? Yes. They say yes to all those things. I had the experience of being a vegan for 2 years, 4 years, 6 months. Then I ask the question, why did you revert back from that lifestyle when you're reporting that you felt good? And most of the time they go into sad mode, and the most common experience I hear is that my significant other, my spouse, my wife, whatever, would not cooperate with it, and I reverted because of them. And I have to remind them at that point, well, that's why now you are talking to me about the health challenges that you want to correct. You're going to have to consider going vegan again. And then the logic kind of hits them. And to me, it's rather clear, simple logic. Yeah, I've been doing this for many, many, many years. I do see my brother, our brother, in the house today, Alpha the Alchemist. Greetings, Kitty. I have you on speaker. I am away from my laptop listening intently. Well, turn that speaker up. Put it in the window. Let your neighbors hear it too. If you're at the JOB, make sure all your coworkers walk through and say, dang, what's he talking about? Humans are fruitarians? I'll apple to that. Alpha the Alchemist, what a joy. What a joy it is to have you in the house today. And as usual, he normally always reminds us, everybody hit the like button. Let the world know, let the algorithms know you enjoy what you're hearing today. I tell you, Alpha the Alchemist, I'm looking at the numbers. This program is not necessarily being very well received today. As you know, this vegetarian vegan lifestyle, especially during Christmas time, ho ho ho, and Santa Claus is putting that ham and that turkey and those deviled eggs. What kind of eggs? Deviled eggs. Why don't they call them angel eggs? Because it's devilish. So not a whole lot of people, I'll be with you honest with you, Alpha the Alchemist. Not a whole lot of people are into today's conversation. But as long as two or more of us are gathered together, there so am I, saith the Almighty. Now, the Almighty said that in the Bible, but we're not going to hold that against him because the Bible be saying everything. The Bible be telling you in certain chapters to go vegetarian, go vegan. And then it be telling you slay your neighbor's goat and slay your neighbor's pigs and chicken and all of that. And people say, okay, well, Bible said kill my neighbor's goats and pigs, but doggone it, since I killed them anyway, I'm going to eat them suckers. I'm efficient. I'm not going to just kill them. Or if a Bible says don't eat them suckers, so I'm going to sell them to somebody else and make a profit off of them eating it. Whatever. Who in the house? Who in the house is also considered a vegan? You let me know. I got nothing but love and nothing but respect for you today. So let us continue. We are going through this list, compelling reasons why I went vegan. Clarity. We're giving clarity. So we gotten up to number 15 is personal beliefs and values. Many people adopt veganism as a matter of personal principle, aligning with their values and beliefs about compassion, empathy, and non-violence. And, you know, enough respect. People are compassionate. We like to believe in people, that the people do have good intentions about life. Many people got upset when this false rumor was pushed out during this campaign that Haitian immigrants were eating people's cats. That false rumor pushed by the other lying party. And you and I know enough about Haitian people in the LIB radio family. We know enough about Haitian people that that's just not happening. Not in the United States. Haitians in the United States are not going to eat cats. They may eat some spam or some canned food or some mystery meat, but they're not going to be eating people's cats, not eating their dogs, and not tossing their salad. That's a whole nother subject. Don't go there, Alpha Grail. Don't go there. Or Alpha the Alchemist. So we knew better than that. So we are compassionate. We are empathetic. And we are about non-violence. So if somebody wants to love their little Pomeranian or Chihuahua, this is my baby, I'm not going to say nothing negative about that. But if you love your pets like that, why not love goats? Why not love cows, cattle to life? Do you love your pets? You hug and kiss your doggy on the mouth and eat veal with their baby cows? Even eating oxen, which are old bulls. Where's the love? Where's the empathy? Where's the nonviolence? Number 16 of my reasons why I converted to vegetarian, then to vegan, now to raw superfood vegan, Number 16, physiological construct of human biology. The physical makeup of meat eaters, and we're talking about natural meat eaters, is different than that of herbivores, with the shape of our teeth, the makeup of our saliva, the enzymes which are in the saliva. Meat-eating animals don't need, and they don't have these enzymes for processing sugars, the amylase enzyme. They don't have that in their saliva. Why? Because they wolf the food down, and their stomach acid does all the work. The physiological makeup of meat eaters, their stomach acid pH is significantly higher, much more acidic than human pH. Much more acidic. I guess the pH would be lower, more acidic, not alkaline, but the acidity is much stronger than human digestive acid, which is why they wolf it down. They don't need to chew it up. We need to chew our food 32 to 48 times to mix in the amylase enzyme for processing the polysaccharides. Amylase enzyme is not for processing meat. It's for processing human food, complex carbohydrates. Hello. That's the truth. So, again, the physiological makeup includes the shape of our teeth, saliva makeup, enzymes, stomach acid pH, the speed, our human speed, the length of our intestinal tract, the constitution of our gut microbiome, even the shape of our hands and fingers are best for opening fruit. That's the reality. Number 17 of the reasons people go vegan, including myself, preventing animal cruelty and exploitation in the animal agriculture industry. Vegans believe that animals have the right to life and freedom. And by not consuming animal products, they are promoting animal welfare, compassion, and deep concern for the well-being of animals and the habitats in which they live. This drives many people to avoid a wide range of products that result from animal suffering or exploitation. I'm feeling that. I make no apology for feeling compassion for animals. I was watching, and it's kind of addicting, but I keep it in context. Watching these videos taking place in places like Australia, where they have overpopulation of rabbits and rats and foxes in certain environments. And these overpopulations can be very destructive to agriculture, including animal husbandry. Foxes and rats are antagonistic to chicken farmers. So I'm watching these videos where these guys become specialists. They take these air guns which fire 22 caliber pellets, air guns, and they have these fancy night scopes and everything with cameras built in, and it shows them knocking out 100 rats that are infesting a chicken farm in the course of a night or so. It's kind of compelling. I like the technology, but the killing of rats, these are vermin, and these are vermin also associated with massive pestilence in the record of human beings. I have no compulsion against knocking out rats with a 22 pellet to their head. That's a clean shot, clean kill. I don't know why I brought that up, but I have no compassion. And I'm going to stop watching these videos because these guys be shooting rabbits. Now, rabbits can be eaten. In fact, I grew up, my daddy used to hunt rabbits. We had a beagle, and he and the beagle, I'm not going to tell you the beagle's name. We called her Puffy. She got that name when she was just a little thing. We called her Puffy. And Puffy was a champion. She truly was. I'll never forget Puffy. Even saying the name Puffy sounds kind of ridiculous coming out of a grown man's mouth. But that was Puffy represented my daddy, one of his core strengths, and that was sustenance for his family. And he would go out with his shotgun and his beagle and maybe one or two of his friends, and they would collect rabbits, bring them home, skin them, cook them up, and feed his sons fresh rabbit meat. Right now, I don't know if people do that anymore because rabbits are associated with parasites, and I'm just not into any source of parasites and bacteria and those things now. But when we were children growing up, fresh rabbit kill on the plate was considered to be a delicacy. I can remember eating rabbits and picking lead buckshots out of the flesh. Now, knowing what we know about lead nowadays, I wouldn't do it. Oh, of course, I wouldn't eat rabbit anyway. I wouldn't even kill the rabbits. Although rabbits are pests. Right now, where I'm living, it's on a lakeside, artificial lake here in Las Vegas. And there are two rabbits that jog through my yard once or twice a week, and I will see them. I'm going to be planting a garden in the space they're jogging through, and the rabbits will not be compatible with the garden. Two rabbits can come in your garden and in one night take out all your fresh, tender, young plants. They can. And so I'm going to put up barriers to keep the rabbits out, as well as I will use coyote urine and scent the area. Because from my understanding, rabbits cannot stand. They're terrified of coyotes. And there are coyotes in this part of Las Vegas. One of them got in the yard and grabbed one of the ducks that lives out behind the house in the lake. And the duck did not survive that encounter with the coyote. It took me an hour or so to clean up the aftermath. So, going forward, that was number 17, preventing animal cruelty and exploitation in the animal agricultural industry. Number 18 on my list today, and I said there were about 30. I didn't get a chance to finish this list, so I'll keep working on this list. Number 30, religious or spiritual beliefs. Certain religious or spiritual traditions advocate for a vegan lifestyle as part of their teachings on compassion, nonviolence, purity of the body, mind, and spirit, or purity of the body, mind, and spirit. And now I'll explain to you purity of the body, mind, and spirit. Because I am a therapeuti. The therapeuti come from Lake Merowe in the Nile Valley Delta. The therapeuti, which is a name given to them by the Greeks, who also gave Kemet the name Egypt, the therapeuti are the progenitors of the Essenes, who left the Nile Valley, migrated into the Fertile Crescent, what people mistakenly call the Holy Land. It's not Holy Land. Too much blood fills the soil of the Fertile Crescent for so long. Too much blood is soaking into the ground today in the so-called Holy Land. I refuse to call this area the Holy Land just because Christian and Abrahamic traditions call it so. The Fertile Crescent is land loaded with blood. So the Essenes were the progenitors of the story of Jesus the Christ, Joshua, however you want to term who the Essenes settled on the banks of the Dead Sea, where the so-called Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. Those were the Essenes, and they came from Egypt. That's what they said. And they were vegetarians, they were vegans, they were master horticulturalists, and even in the story of Yehoshua, Jesus, when the family went into exile, when the edict of King Herod was to kill the firstborn son, where did the family go? They went to the Nile Valley Delta, to Egypt, to Kemet, which was not Egypt at that point, because at that point it had been conquered by Alexander the Macedonian, who then referred to the Nile Valley lands as Egypt, Egyptos, which means blackface. Did you know that? So all that to say, religious or spiritual beliefs as a therapeutai who we called ourselves, not therapeutai, we called ourselves sons of Akhenaten, or sons of Amenhotep IV, also known as Akhenaten, the heretic pharaoh, which later became redeemed once people started to understand exactly what this idea of monotheism was about, the unification of all of these gods under one God, Amun Ra. So we are sons of Ra, and I'm actually ordained spiritually as a priest in the sacred order of the Sons of Ra ministry. Yes, I have an official ordination. And to my fellow priests and priestesses in the sacred order of the sons and daughters of Ra, I send my greetings, Hetzepu, to each and every one of you. We're up to number 19 on this list, social and ethical concerns. Some individuals choose veganism due to concerns about social and ethical issues, such as factory farming, animal testing, the treatment of animals in the meat and dairy industries. Oh, there's a bunch of reasons. The economics of meat versus plant-based, and the exploitation of healthcare by the med pharma industries, profiteering from the sick nation. Yes, that is true. They are profiting, and much of the reason they're profiting is because people eat themselves to chronic illness. Diabetes pays. Hypertension pays. Cardiovascular disease pays. Cancer pays. These metabolic syndrome diseases, kidney disease pays. Atherosclerosis pays. Overweight, obesity industries pay. All of them exacerbated by the amount of meat that Americans eat, that humans eat in the developed countries. Americans eat, I think, the third highest amount of animal-based products of any nations in the world. Number one is Australia. They are some serious meat eaters in Australia. They probably even eat rats too, from those guys on YouTube shooting the rats at night. Not the rats, but the rabbits. Some people in the world do eat rats. That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother subject. Because I know in parts of China, not all Chinese, but in parts of China, rats are still considered part of the meat sources that many humans eat. Hey, I'm not going to be eating any meats, any rats when I go to China. I'm going to get me some trail mix. Until when people offer me some rats, I say, no, that's all right. Would you like some trail mix? Now, I'll offer them my trail mix. They'll say, dang, this is good trail mix, Chef Katie. And they're going to stop eating the rats and say, hey, after hanging out with Chef Katie, I'm eating the trail mix. You know what I'm talking about. Many of you in our listening audience here on LAB Radio have stopped eating rats and are now focusing on eating trail mix. And that's a beautiful thing. We encourage such activity. So we are up to number 20. Number 20, supporting sustainable agriculture. By choosing plant-based foods, vegans promote sustainable agriculture and support farmers who use environmentally friendly practices. And when we consider that up to 95% of the grains grown to feed animals for consumption are from GE engineered crops. So the animals, and again, there's a waste of energy and water in producing feed, growing food to feed the animals and then eating the animals. That's not an efficient trail. So now they're growing 12 times as much animal-based foods using genetically engineered crops to feed the cattle, to feed the pigs, to feed the goats, to feed the chickens, to feed the turkeys, to feed the stuff that you want to eat. And even grass-fed uses a whole lot more water. Of course, much of that water that's being used is not necessarily pumped from the ground, but some of it is. Some of the places where they're growing, raising cattle are in drought areas. And so the animals use 12 times as much water to convert to energy for food, for calorie for food, than just eating what the animal would be eating. But we want to make sure that we eat clean food. I do not want genetically modified organisms in my diet. I do not want GE engineered food to tolerate high levels of weed killer and pesticides. We don't want that. We don't need that to survive. It's only done to increase the profits to the corporations which are driving family farmers out of business. Now, some of the family farms that have managed to stay in business converted from growing expensive to raise meat-based products, animal-based products, to now growing organic fruits and vegetables for which they can get a higher return on investment. Think about it. If you can grow 12 times as much fruits and vegetables to feed humans, the same caloric content that the meat eating would provide them, if you can grow that 12 times more efficiently, then you got money to invest in cleaning up that food and growing it organic. That just makes logical sense to me. I hope that you followed me through that equation, through that calculation. It is much more efficient to grow wholesome, healthy, clean food for humans. Anybody else in the house, you consider yourself a vegan? I need you to talk to me today. I need you to hit the like button. Let me see, is anybody talking to you now? Yeah, I think this topic scares everybody. I can understand why you might be scared of it, but I'm not. Not at all. Personally, this topic makes a tremendous amount of logic. Tremendous amount of logic to me. And excuse me, I like keeping these windows open, but I got some people who treat Facebook as if Facebook is not a social medium. It's a medium to send me private messages all day long about the stuff that they should be putting on their page. And I'm going to have to just kind of exclude myself. I'll send them a message. Yeah. So going forward, again, people, if you have me in your Facebook friends list, please don't send everything you find interesting about the world to me in a personal message, because when I go to switch to the page, when I'm doing the show, I have to switch in and out of, I'm switching in and out of Rumble, Facebook, YouNow, YouTube, LinkedIn. It doesn't help when I go to switch into one of these and I got a big message sitting right there blocking me access to what I want to get at. So I'm going to have to tell people stop doing that, or I have to defriend you, especially if we're not doing anything other than you just sending me these messages. Please, people, think about what we do. Think the processes out, please. Please do think this stuff out. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But think, people. Going forward, we continue. I'm sharing this list of why, clarity on the question why I went vegan. We're up to number 20, supporting sustainable agriculture. Oh, I read that one already, and I added to it, consider that up to 95% of the grains grown to feed animals for consumption are from GE engineered crops, and is a waste, it is a waste of up to 12 to 1 energy from eating animals versus clean plant foods. Number 21 on this list, weight management. Veganism can aid in weight loss and maintenance, as plant-based diets tend to be lower in calories and higher in fiber. Plant-based diets tend to be lower in calories and higher in fiber. I talked about the first day experience now I have of this current 56-day stem cell rejuvenation program. After just one day, my weight goes down 2.5 pounds. I took a shower and added 0.1 pounds in water, just soaking, hydrating my skin. So 2.5 pounds at my normal weigh-in during the morning, and then 2.4 pounds after getting out of the shower. That's about weight management. It really does work. Plant-based diets, caloric restriction not only helps us to better balance our weight, but this also, let me put this in there, this also adds to our protocol for stem cell development. And this is really important. 22 on my list. This is where I stopped to get ready for the show. 22 on the list because I knew I had 30. And I can easily find another 10, no problem. Waste and pollution reduction. Veganism reduces waste and groundwater pollution. It reduces waste and pollution by minimizing packaging, transportation, and processing required for animal products. And let me just add 23 to here. Reduces toxic groundwater pollution from confined animal feedlot operations, CAFOs, pig farms. Anybody ever live in a country within a half-mile proximity of a pig farm? A confined animal feedlot, a beef feeding operation? As you're driving from Los Angeles up to the Bay Area, there are, I think, 2 very large CAFOs, animal feedlots, cattle feedlots, in close proximity to the 5 freeway, and you can smell them funky suckers before you even see them. And then when you're driving by them, it's hard to imagine how seeing so many cattle in such a confined space, they're all walking in inches and inches and inches of feces, because all they're doing there is they're just fattening them up. That's all they're doing, and all they do is eat and poop and eat and poop and eat and poop. Okay. So, going forward, we are up to, that one was eating poop and eating poop. And so it reduces toxic groundwater pollution from CAFOs. 24, prevents runoff of agricultural chemicals into lakes and streams. One second. I'm trying to get people to stop writing to me messages while I'm on the air, and as you can hear in the background, ting, ting, ting. I said, call me when I talk to you. I'm going to tell him, stop doing that. Not while I'm on the air. Take me out of this list, please. And he keeps sending me messages. I'm just trying to, whatever. So I'm just going to ignore them. I can't ignore them because they keep popping open and jerking my browser around. Let's go forward. We're talking about prevents runoff of ag chemicals into lakes and streams, polluting, causing the spread of EDCs, endocrine disrupting chemicals. Here you go. Keep messaging. I'll talk to him. He's a good brother, and I know his intentions are good, but it's disturbing. It's problematic. It really is. Because I run Facebook on here and on here, and these messages just keep getting in the way and they're making noise and stuff. So, hey, we can do better than that. Can we do better than that? Yeah, we can do better than that, Bobby Keaty. Thank you. I appreciate love you. Anybody talking to me today? I'm not getting any comments. So I'm presuming that you don't want to hear this subject. So let's go. We're almost finished. We got up to number 24, prevents runoff of ag chemicals into lakes and streams, causing the spread of endocrine disrupting chemicals. These EDCs, I'll take that one even further. These EDCs are linked to infertility, reproductive cancer, reproductive diseases. They are linked to cancers and other disturbances to our long-term health. These endocrine disrupting chemicals, they are found in the meat, dairy, eggs, endocrine disrupting chemicals in eggs. I know there's arsenic, antibiotics, and growth hormones. Growth hormones, and other animal products. Yes, endocrine disrupting chemicals. Number 26 on my list, the greater risk, increased risk of cancer from meats cooked at high temperatures, from HCAs, heterocyclic amines, and PAHs, which are polyaromatic hydrocarbons, in cooked meat, especially at high temps. In parentheses, BBQ, barbecue. Yes, heterocyclic amines. Polyaromatic hydrocarbons. These are formed from barbecue. That smell of burnt meat, that roast beef, that burnt meat, especially barbecued meat, meat cooked over a grill when it's over 500 degrees, that smell gets at you, doesn't it? Yeah, that's called polyaromatic hydrocarbons. These are known carcinogens. To be carcinogenic. So we can avoid that if we would commit to the vegan vegetarian lifestyle. So I'm giving clarity on this topic for today. I know we've been going on and on. Let me see how much more time I got. Normally I try and keep these messages right around 70 to 90 minutes. And is there anybody else who would consider this? Consider this possibility. And the last one I'm going to put on this list is, this is a way to avoid, vegan is a way to avoid daily inflammatory episodes of a digestive leukocytosis, leukocytosis, which is a daily inflammation that we get from eating cooked food, especially cooked food that's also hard on the digestive system. And I would say also exposure to natural animal hormones impacts the integrity of human hormone production. That's right. So we don't want exogenous hormones coming in our bodies. These are called exogenous hormones, i.e., exogenous hormones. We don't want them. We only want to deal with endogenous, made by our own hormones, and these exogenous hormones interfere with this legitimacy of our own hormones. And this is very, very, very important. We're up to 28. Now, I said at the beginning of the program we were going to share 30 of them. Does anybody else have any reasons why you would consider going vegan? Think about it. I would say one of the things is that meat, when rotting, attracts pests that are disease causing, including parasites that can infect the brain. And other tissues. You're talking about, look at the parasites found in pork that can infect the brain. What's that? Trichomoniasis? A trichomoniasis, I think it is. A trichomoniasis, I think is what that parasite's called, that can infect the brain and infect the heart tissues, muscle tissues of heart. Remember, we're told to deworm the dogs and cats, but not the humans. Yeah, deworm them on a regular basis. But they don't say deworm your children who are playing with the dogs and cats, who are running around the yard where the dogs and cats poop out worms all day long. So we've gotten up to number 29. Do we have number 30? And I'm not going to go back to a search engine. Reasons why we don't do this to ourselves. I would say, I am a manifestation of the universe in order. Therefore, I am in sync with the divine that governs all life on this planet and elsewhere. I live, Ma'at, he says, as he smacks an insect flying up in front of his computer. I don't tolerate that, not while I'm live. I am Ma'at. So that's the 30 reasons why I gave up standard American diet, why I gave up consumption of all animal-based products, highly processed foods, chemicals masquerading as food. First, I committed to ITAL food. From ITAL food, I went into the vegetarian lifestyle. From vegetarian, I went to vegan. From vegan, I went to raw vegan superfood. And that's where I am right now. My raw aspect is 80% of the diet, not the 97% that I experienced for about 8 years, but 80% now. I am going to make a big pot of soup today to clean out my refrigerator and get ready for caloric restriction. Get ready for intermittent fasting. I'm going to stay on this fasting schedule of confining my eating to only 6 hours of the day all this week. So I'll have my first meal at noon. My last meal will be consumed and finished by 6 p.m. And so from 6 p.m. until tomorrow at noon, I will not be eating anything, only drinking. I will drink herbal tea. I have my green tea with the 4 magic ingredients and other ingredients in it. I will be drinking chocolate. I like my cacao. Somebody asked me the question this morning. Let me see if I can find this morning, because sometimes, well, no, not sometimes, all the time, we're connected around the world. And we're doing this program right now, which is global, and we're using WhatsApp for the stem cell rejuvenation naturally group on WhatsApp. And I got a comment from my brother, from another mother, Brother Dawoodi. And he asked me the question, Kitty, what do you know about cocoa beans? Do they help rejuvenate stem cells? Respect. Enough respect to you, Brother Dawoodi, probably listening right now. Here's what my AI inquiry returned. Cocoa beans, and stem cell proliferation, is there a connection? It responded, yes. There is indeed a fascinating connection between cocoa beans, or cacao, you might call them as well, cocoa beans and stem cell proliferation. Recent studies have shown that cocoa, particularly dark chocolate, rich in flavonoids and epicatechin, can enhance stem cell activity. Here are some key findings. 1. Enhanced stem cell mobilization. Cocoa consumption has been shown to increase the mobilization of stem cells from the bone marrow to the bloodstream. This means that more stem cells are available to migrate to injury sites and aid in healing. Point 2. Increased stem cell proliferation. The compounds in cocoa, especially epicatechin, have been found to boost the proliferation of stem cells, leading to a higher number of these regenerative cells. And point 3, improved stem cell activity. Cocoa intake is also associated with enhanced stem cell activity, as evidenced by increased expression of genes related to stem cell function. This suggests that cocoa might not only increase the number of stem cells, but also improve their ability to carry out their regenerative roles effectively. Now, that was really pretty nice. And I get these questions, and I like that. This is why we created this group. And we have these before pictures and after pictures that we're celebrating. And look at you, beloved sister. Greetings all. This picture after 24 hours of water fasting, feeling great and excited for the future of this transformation. And I just got a comment. Bear with me. I'm going to reply to her. Awesome. Just quite simply awesome. You are certainly on the right track. I mean, just awesome. She sent two before pictures. I took a before picture, and my brother Kwame Reg took a before picture. But the differences in the two pictures are my beloved sister Basu Randa, who's probably out there listening. You know I'm talking about you. I'm not going to show you a picture, not without your permission. It's only for our family in-house. But she took two pictures. The first before picture was beautiful. The second one is just like stunning. And look at that smile. Look at that awesome, beautiful smile on my beloved sister. Thank you, thank you. You're showing a whole lot of your ceiling, but that's okay. I can Photoshop it and trim it off the ceiling if you'd like and post it back up. But this is a picture after 24 hours of water fasting, feeling great and excited for the future of this transformation. And for those of you who are in the group, it's still not too late to join this cycle. Some people are asking me, well, when's the next cycle going to begin? At the earliest, it's going to begin February 1st. But the last time I did this was March 2021, and then it took till December 2024. But that's 2 years and 8 or 9 months for me to restart it and do it a second time. This time I'm doing it with a group. The last time I did it alone, for myself, for my own body, researching and studying what this stem cell stuff was all about. Now I'm writing a book on stem cell, and I want multiples. My beloved sister Basu Randa. What can I say? You look awesome. I mean, just awesome. I'm going to stop talking about you on the air. People, this is why you needed to be in the circle. It is not too late. It's not too late. Let me tell you this and tell you very definitively. It is not too late to join. Not too late or late. Late to join our stem cell rejuvenation. Text me ASAP to join. Text or text? No, text ASAP to join today at my text number 702-580-0662. Do not call the number without texting. Otherwise, you're not going to get an answer. But I will text you right back as soon as I hear from you. So that's it. Basu Randa, you look, I'm just like in awe. You look like a 22-year-old woman. And I know she's got children older than that. This is picture after 24 hours of water fasting, feasting, fasting, feeling great and excited for the future of this transformation. This is just one day. Just one day. And look at this tremendous, tremendous change you got. I hope she posted up this photograph on her social media page, because I can comment on it there, but I'm not going to post up the photograph without her permission. Obviously, that would be really out of order, out of line, out of ma'at, and for which I don't even want to have to run from an apology. But what we do is we love each other. We embrace each other. We support. We collaborate. We cooperate. We stand shoulder to shoulder to inspire other people to want to be like us, with us, for us. And I'm going to be talking with my beloved sister. If anybody out there wants to have a conversation with me, you can have a one-on-one. You can arrange a brief, spell arrange correctly, a brief one-on-one about your health at http://www.coachkeedy.com. And I highly encourage people to do so as soon as possible. Please do so. It's going to be beneficial for you. It's definitely, I hope, it's going to be beneficial for me as well. And Wait a minute. It says, oh, no, it is there. And I do have one conversation coming up today. And looking forward to these conversations with you, my family, our family, as we build toward a new reality, as we build for tomorrow, as we build for tomorrows. So it's not too late. Not too late to join us. And where am I at? I'm on 2 or 3 different pages right now. Not too late to join our stem cell rejuvenation class. And those are the last things I have to say for today's broadcast. You've been tuned into your favorite. You know we're your favorite. I don't always have the biggest audience, but you know something? I think I've got the brightest audience. I think I have the most committed audience. I do, and I'll stand on this one, have the most well-informed audience. In fact, so well-informed that some of the people are afraid. Some of the people say, man, Keaty, that's over my head. I can't go there with you. Which is why when I do science like today, a lot of people just pull back and say, man, it's too much. I've heard people say, Keaty, it's too much. But you know what I say? I say it can't be too much because I am learning it. And what I can do, we can do. And that's why we tune into this, your favorite. We aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio. We are LIB TV. We are livinginblack.com. So tell your friends to tell their friends that we have our own now. And we're very, very proud of who we are, what we have, what we got, what we do with what we got, and what we intend to do as we get even more on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and on livinginblack.com. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.